Hi, I'm going to talk a little bit about entering lyrics into Finale so that it conforms to the Barbershop Harmony Society manual. I'm using Finale 2012, but it's going to work pretty much the same in print music, in earlier versions of Finale, almost anything at all. Now, I'm not going to talk about any shortcuts. I'm going to be doing everything the long way, because those of you with print music may not have access to the shortcuts. Those of you using Finale probably have your own shortcuts. You can see we've put the tenor in layer 1, lead in layer 2, bari in layer 1, bass in layer 2. We're going to put the lyrics in lyric verses 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's going to make it easiest to do editing and moving things around individually without having lines moving all at once when we don't want them to. We're going to start by putting in the lead lyric because that's the one you work in most of the time. I'm sitting on top of the world, measures 25 and 26 as an illustration. I've already entered the notes, obviously, and we're going to put in the lead lyric. So the first thing we need to do is go to the lyrics menu and select specify current lyric. Now, as I said, the lead lyric is going to go in verse number 2. So we'll change that to 2. Okay. Now, since the lead is also in layer 2, we'll go down here and change to layer 2. Click on the first lead note and enter your lyrics. You're just going to have to excuse my relatively slow typing. I played hooky when we were supposed to be going to typing class in junior high school a long, long time ago. Okay, so there's verse 1, or the lead line. Now we're going to put in the tenor line. So we need to go back to layer 1. We need to go to lyrics, specify current lyric, verse number 1. Now when we click on the first lead note, I guess I was a little bit ahead of myself. Normally you will see this down here. So once you've clicked here, you're going to move that bass line up to the top. Double check, we're in lyric 1, we are in layer 1. And he quit the blues of the world. Now you'll see that there's a word extension here which we don't want. We'll come back to that. We'll enter the baritone lyric next. So the first thing we'll do, since we need a little bit more elbow room, is we'll use the staff tool and drop that down a little bit. Now again, the baritone lyric line is going to be in layer 1, where it already is, but we're going to go back to specify current lyric. That's going to go in lyric number 3. When we click on the first baritone note, you can see that those arrows are down below, just as they should have been on verse 1. So again, I'm going to grab the leftmost arrow and bring my bass line up to where I want it. We can always fine-tune individual systems, but right now, since most of your baritone lyrics are going to be there, just as most of your lead lyrics are going to be here, we can move the global adjustment up high. So we'll enter the lyrics here. Okay. And finally, the bass line. So the bass line, we need layer 2. We need lyrics, specify current lyric, verse 4. One note, when you're putting in nonsense syllables, such as doombas, they are not capitalized, even when they're at the beginning of a sentence or of a phrase. Okay, there we are. All of our lyrics are in. Now, let's move the bass lyric back to, or up a little bit, to a better spot. Move them up about there. Now, in the event that it worked fine in every other system, but not in this particular one, if we choose this arrow, we can move here. So the second arrow in moves system. The extreme left arrow is a global adjustment. Let's take a look at these word extensions. We didn't get one in other spots because word extension, for example, here or here, word extensions are cut off by a rest or by a double bar line. Now in the actual score, there's a rest in the next measure, so this would not appear. However, I put it in just to show you a trick of how I get rid of them. When I have something like that where a word extension might extend beyond where I want it, I go to my simple entry palette, click on the 8th note, click on the grace note. So when I move over here, you'll see I have a little icon of a large icon of a note, a little icon of a grace note. Let's make sure we're in layer 1 again. Come back here and just click any place in there. You see it gave us a grace note. Now we don't want a grace note, we want a rest. Tapping the R key on our keyboard, that's the letter R, will turn it to a rest. Then tapping the H key will hide it. Now using the grace rests doesn't really change your spacing, doesn't really hurt anything in the playback. So it's a good way of doing that. Let's bring one down here, and again in the baritone line, drop one in, rest, hide. Now if we go back here and delete the word world and enter it again, now you see it's not extending. I'm not sure what the problem is with the overlap there, but we can just take, there we go, just clicking on the selection tool, respace the music so it's now proper. So here again you have verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, verse 4. Hope that helped. Thanks. Bye.